While the Singapore Grand Prix was a spectacular show of what Formula One can offer, the qualifying was a bit more of a mess. There was a change to the rules for Singapore's Saturday shootout that you might have missed, which contributed to the problem. Fernando Alonso is now saying that the current qualifying format just doesn't work and wants the FIA to make changes. Today, we'll have a look at what happened on Saturday, why it was such a mess, what could be done about it, and whether we as fans really need to worry about it. Let's get started. The Singapore qualifying was a wild watch for a number of reasons. Ferrari's Carlos Sainz edged out George Russell's Mercedes for pole position as Max Verstappen qualified 11th. Verstappen swore over the team radio as he struggled with his unexpectedly uncompetitive Red Bull, which threatened to end his record-breaking run of wins. Spoiler alert, it did. Checo had an even worse session, and their failure to get to Q3 made it the first time since the 2018 Russian Grand Prix there hasn't been a Red Bull in the final part of qualifying. Sainz, whose pole was his second in a row after starting from the front in Italy, said, "We have a very good car in certain tracks and certain conditions, and like one lap, and this sort of track with short exits and quick changes in direction, our car seems to be very good this weekend." The car would eventually be good enough for first place in the race thanks to some big brain tactics from Sainz, who slowed down enough to let Lando Norris get DRS to make George Russell's job of overtaking the McLaren much more difficult. So clever was this move that the Ferrari pit wall asked Sainz to speed up before he explained he was letting Norris get within DRS range on purpose. Then there was Lance Stroll's qualifying crash. The Canadian smashed into the barriers at the final corner, causing extensive damage to his Aston Martin car. Fortunately, he was declared uninjured at the medical centre, but his team said they and the driver agreed he would not take part in the race. The repair job would have been an overwhelming undertaking for the team, and with Lance still feeling the effects of the crash and starting from last on the grid, it was the right decision to sit the race out. Apparently, dirty air was to blame for his car losing control. A sudden drop in downforce was enough for the rear end of his car to slip out from underneath him. All in all, it was a pretty exciting qualifying, right? So what has Fernando Alonso found to complain about? Before I dive into that, I want to tell you about this amazing course I've been taking called Learn and Earn Profits Online. As much as I love Formula One and making content for you all, I need something else to make money from, and thanks to Learn and Earn Profits Online digital marketing course, I have that. This course helps you start your own online business in your spare time, and you don't need any experience whatsoever. The course teaches you everything you need to know about making money online. If you don't want to sell your own product for whatever reason, you can just resell the course to other people at the price you paid for it. Buying the course gives you the master resale rights, and you can sell it as many times as you want. Selling it on to one other person means you get the cost of the course back. One sale a day will generate a monthly income of $15,000. And with your newly learned marketing skills, you should find selling it easy. Let's say you want to start selling your own Formula One fan merch. You could sell t-shirts with some classic quotes like "No Mikey No" or "Don't Fox Smash My Door." Learn and Earn Profits Online will teach you how to create your brand. I'd buy those t-shirts, but no one will find your store unless you have a great marketing strategy. The course teaches you how to create effective marketing campaigns and social media content that your potential clients want to engage with. The community pages were a great help as well. So many inspirational people who have found success through this course helped me find success as well. Click the link in the description and start your own online digital marketing business right now and get a $50 Amazon gift card for free. Back to Fernando Alonso, who said after the Singapore qualifying that the current format is obsolete. Harsh words for what was an incredibly exciting qualifying to watch, but for the drivers, it was incredibly tough. His statement does need some context though, and comes after the drivers modified the shootout regulations, especially for the 2023 Singapore Grand Prix. In the Friday night drivers' briefing, drivers voted unanimously to scrap the usual maximum lap time procedure. Normally, an upper limit time is imposed for an in and out lap in qualifying the drivers must respect or else be considered to have gone unnecessarily slowly. This rule is in place to stop drivers backing up the field to give themselves plenty of clean air in front of them when they go for the flying lap. Going excessively slowly creates loads of traffic, messes with other drivers' tyre warm-up routine, and more importantly, can cause cars to miss the cutoff to start a final flying lap at the end of the session. But amid the belief that, on this occasion, having to keep within the minimum lap time restriction would harm tyre preparation, while believing there was space on track to avoid traffic issues, the drivers pushed for this clause to be dropped. However, at the end of Q1, there was still a mad scrap for track position. The queue of drivers trying to get onto their final lap was absolutely wild at the end of Q1. and some of the onboard footage we saw looked genuinely frightening. The difference in car speed, as some people try to overtake for track position while others were slowing to create a gap, looked like a safety issue to me. Aston Martin's Fernando Alonso is fed up with it, and as the only driver who remembers the qualifying format being any different, he's saying that the current format isn't fit for purpose. Claiming drivers will continue to make life difficult for the FIA by pushing the rules regardless, the two-time world champion reckoned, "It is difficult to handle, I think. Whatever the FIA do, we will find a way to sail that kind of rule." They have a very difficult job in terms of managing traffic on street circuits and things like that. Alonso therefore proposed a single-lap system, as used in 2003, whereby cars run individually with only one shot at setting a time. The 42-year-old reckoned this was the only possible way forward. He continued, "I've said many times that there is only one way to find a solution, which is single-lap qualifying. All the other solutions we can test, but will never work because we will find a way. I think this qualifying format is obsolete. It has been the same for 20 to 25 years, but the cars are not the same. We have hybrid engines, we have to charge the battery, we have to cool the tyres, so the only way to go forward is one lap. Obviously, from a driver's point of view, the easiest way for them to perform the best lap possible is with perfect preparation. That would mean a completely clear track in front of them and no pressure to get anywhere in a set amount of time. They could get their tyres to the perfect temp, they could have a fully charged battery, and then when they're on their flying lap, there would be no other cars to distract them. For us as fans though, is that really as exciting as the current qualifying format? Probably not. From a pure technophile point of view, we would be able to see the absolute pinnacle of what Formula 1 could produce over a single lap, but I think for 99% of fans, they're more interested in the racing side of the sport, and for qualifying, that is best provided by the current format. There are other problems with Alonso's suggestion as well. As Formula 1 cars complete laps on track, they leave behind rubber on the track surface. As more cars go, the track gets grippier with the more rubber that is laid down. If you went first in the single-lap shootout format that Fernando wants to see return, you would be at a big disadvantage to the person who goes last. I get why he wants change, because as a Formula 1 driver, you want the perfect conditions to perform to the best of your ability. But as fans, we love qualifying as it is. In this case, the FIA should stick with the spectacle. If the changing of the rules by the drivers caused all the problems due to cars driving excessively slowly, then why did they make that decision? McLaren driver Lando Norris spoke about the change to the maximum lap time, saying, "Initially, the reasoning for having it was to limit approaching speed differences, especially in Monza. They said the reason for it was not to try and sort out traffic and overtaking, but to sort out people going 10 km an hour when you go 300 km an hour into the last corner. That's not a safety issue, that's just driving to find your own position. If you don't want this, you can go out 5 minutes earlier and get on with your lap and do it yourself. I think it was a good decision that they made. It was better for everyone. Look, the drivers are likely to complain no matter what happens. They will understandably push for the perfect conditions for themselves whenever they can. If they are happy for there to be no maximum lap time, then the FIA should make it that way. Personally, I love the tactical side of qualifying. Trying to work out the perfect time to go out for your final lap, leave it too late and you miss the cutoff because people are slowing down in front of you to create a gap for themselves. Go too early and the track improves after you've finished your lap. And who doesn't love watching a bit of side-by-side racing as drivers fight for what they see as the perfect position for their run? Alonso might want change, but as fans, I say keep it as it is. But what do you think? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and until next time, drive safe and bye for now.